Yo, good morning, good morning. Man, we've got a crazy packed day full of news. We got a crazy packed day full of news. A couple things. I wanted to go through the lore for Warwick, right? We got Warwick and 2XKO. So I got to go through his lore. We got to go through. I made the list of the top zones. We ranked all the zones by lore. And we've got Arcane news out of nowhere. Arcane Faniversary and another thing that's coming out for Arcane that thanks Snowy Alex for sending me the link to it, but a new role got posted. Man, now that we started looking at the roles, it's revealing a lot of stuff. It really is. Warwick is in Wild Rift, isn't he? We should pull up Warwick the whole day. That is until we start talking about Arcane, then we need a Demacian character. There he is. Warwick. Nice. All right, let me check something real quick. Let me hire this a little bit too. Okay. We're good. All right. The question is, what do we start with? Do we start with Arcane? Do we start with 2XKO? I think we start with 2XKO. Let's go through the Warwick stuff first. You know, we've got Warwick pulled up. Might as well. This is my speculative release date for Season 1. Okay. So if we're going to do Warwick, we got to do the Zon playlist. There we go. Okay, Warwick's lore for 2XKO. I don't know how much lore 2XKO fans know. Anytime we release a new game, it brings in a new player base. From Vander to Warwick, the Uncaged Wrath in 2XKO. So we're going to go through the lore of Warwick and his connections to a lot of his abilities that are already in place in League of Legends, as well as, just his overall lore. So the man and the monster. Warwick is one of Runeterra's most tragic figures, a man transformed into a beast, haunted by fragmented memories of a life he can no longer grasp. He is both the monster who stalks the alleys of Zon and the man who once fought to protect its people. With his reveal for Riot Games' upcoming fighting game 2XKO, we see a chapter whose very move is steeped in the brutal history, blending the narrative of League of Legends with the fan-favorite portrayal of Vander from the hit series Arcane. And this is the Warwick in 2XKO is actually the Warwick post Arcane. We're seeing Warwick's story continue, and no one's I don't know why no one's talking about it. This is the next part of Warwick's story that we're seeing in Arcane. Same with Jinx. This is everything in 2XKO is post Arcane, so the story continues, and they're clearly alive. The article delves into Warwick's lore, exploring the painful transformation, the connection to his life as Vander, and how his feral abilities and it has been masterfully translated from the MOBA to the fighting game Arcane. Those are some of the models. So the lore of the Uncaged Wrath. Warwick's official biography paints a grim picture of a man who tried to escape a violent past, one only to be forcibly dragged into a monstrous new existence. Originally a gangster in Zon, he attempted to live a better life, but his past sins caught up to him, leading him to the laboratory of a mad chemist, Singed. And you can literally see Vander hung up back there, and this is Singed working on him. According to and don't forget, Singed, he wasn't just doing it for fun. Singed was experimenting on Warwick. His whole goal was to save his daughter. And, Vander was just a tool to get to that point, to be able to discover the methods to save his daughter. According to his biography on the League of Legends Universe page, though many think of Warwick as no more than a beast, buried beneath the fury lies a mind of a man, a gangster who put down his blade and took up a new name to live a better life. But no matter how hard he tried to move on, he could never escape the sins of his past. And that really, that goes well with the Arcane story. It matches perfectly with the Vander putting down the past. We know he put it down for Vi and Jinx to raise them, and in his honor of his friend. I always forget their mom's name, but yeah, so the lore still fits. Singed's experiments were agonizing and transformative. He fused Warwick's body with machinery, pumping alchemical rage through his veins to unlock the deadly beast hidden within a good man. The goal was a forced transmutation, reshaping him with pneumatic claws and a chemical chamber on his back that floods his system with fury in response to rage, hate, or fear. The process shattered his mind, leaving only fractured memories and an insatiable hunger for blood. But death proved to be the true catalyst needed for Warwick's transformation. This is so basically Singed in the lore really fails in like at least the lore that's on the lore page. Singed fails in his transformation of Warwick and literally just discards him, throws him onto a pile of junk heap, thinking Warwick's just the man died. There's nothing left. That's it. Like it's not like in Arcane where he just pops out of nowhere. There's a slight like delay there where after Singed finishes experiments, he thinks Warwick died, but he throws them onto like a garbage pile, really. And then, but death proved to be the true catalyst needed for Warwick's transformation. As he lay cooling atop a pile of corpses, the chemicals could finally complete their work. By the time his heart started beating once again, the man Warwick had been and the lives he'd lived were gone. He awoke to hunger. Everything hurt. Only one thing mattered. He needed blood. Now he hunts the criminals of Zaun, driven by the scent of blood that reminds him of his own tainted past. He is a killer who hunts other killers, a beast forever wrestling with the ghost of the man he once was. The short story, If They Run, showcases his eternal conflict perfectly, as he uses a young girl as bait to lure his true prey, all while fighting the urge to give in to his own bloodlust. The fact that he's able to control himself in that story shows that Vander is still very much in Warwick. And if we ever see Warwick again, which we do in 2XKO, we can see that Vander is still there in a lot of the voice lines. This is called The Wrath of Zaun. It's a great cinematic. It shows Warwick hunting in Zaun. I can show you guys a little bit of it. It's such a good cinematic.
I told you this was a bad deal, man! Shut up and move!
It's such a good cinematic.
Which way?
Over here! On your mark!
I see it! I see it! We're almost there, man! Let's go!
Man, you feel it in this one. You feel like you're being hunted. And they do it first person.
I'm sorry!
He does look a little bit more OG, and I'll get into that. It's so freaking terrifying.
Come on, come on!
Jeez. Well, that is just freaking terrifying. It really is. But yeah, he does look a little bit more OG than the Arcane Warwick, and I'll get into why. And I hope that my reasoning, it makes sense, and that's actually the reason why he looks more OG. But Arcane Shadow, a post-explosion timeline. So how is Warwick still alive, right? We saw him fall and explode in the hit animated series Arcane at the end of it, which means they're both dead. No. The hit animated series Arcane strongly implies the beloved father figure Vander is the man who becomes Warwick, which is not even like implied. It's pretty confirmed. The final shot, it is confirmed. The final shot of him in Singe's lab at the end of season 1 is a chilling foreshadowing of his fate. However, compelling evidence, both Arcane season 1 and season 2, 2XKO voice lines suggest that the fighting game takes place after the show's conclusion. A climactic scene from season 2 trailer shows both Warwick and Jinx surviving a massive explosion, seemingly confirming their survival and continued story. This is from my video. You can see
she's gonna be worlds away, but she's always with her. And when this first hits, Warwick and Jinx and the bomb in her hand all...
Okay. So you do see the flash of purple.
First hits Warwick and Jinx and the bomb in her hand.
I think
all
I'd
of this
freeze it
being explosion,
anyways.
right? But if you freeze right when the explosion
That's the
happens,
purple
you
of
see this
Jinx.
flash of purple out of the corner. That's Jinx zipping away. That's her usual. Anytime you see Jinx do her really fast motions, there's always a trail of purple. This is that trail of purple. She's getting away.
Yeah, and then you see another little flash of, okay, you see that little flash of gold too? I never noticed it, but you can see in the top left here, that little piece of gold, right above like where I'm showing the picture, there's a little flash of gold.
That's her usual. Anytime
Watch.
you see Jinx do her really
There's a
fast
flash of
motions,
purple to the
there's always
right,
a
see the
trail
flash of
purple.
gold to
This
the
is that
left.
trail of
That's
purple. She's
Vander.
getting away.
You see that flash? So there's two flashes, not one. There's also Vander who's getting away there. This sets the stage for a specific voice interaction in 2XKO, which almost certainly references this event. Here's Vander, well, Warwick, and I put a timestamp in there so you'll be able to see it.
Powder. Together. Again.
Just don't go disappearing in any explosions this time, okay?
Okay. That voice line right there alone tells us that this is post-Arcane, and she's talking to the same Warwick that was in Arcane, the same Vander. This is the same character. One, they have history, and two, she's telling him, don't go disappearing in any explosions again, okay? What explosion is she referencing? Definitely not the first explosion where Vander almost dies in Season 1, right? Because that one, he doesn't disappear. He's lying there dead. The only one he could possibly disappear in is the last explosion. That's the one Vander shows up in and Vander survives in. Powder, together again. Just don't go disappearing in any explosions this time, okay? And this video is by Pantheon Bakeries, by the way. This one.
Powder. We run blood.
Aw, I love you too, Wolf Dad.
There's a couple more.
Aw, who's a good little wolfy dad?
Good. No. I'm not good.
Can I still call you Vander? I don't really get the whole Warwick thing.
The name has no meaning to a monster.
Yeah, there's a couple more of these, more voice lines but the most important one is that one. Don't go disappearing in any explosions again. Jinx line is critical. Vander didn't disappear in the first explosion that killed Milo and Clagger. He seemingly died from his wounds. Her warnings here point to a more recent shared traumatic event, likely the one from the trailer, not the trailer, from the Season 2, where they both nearly disappeared. This positions the 2XKO Warwick not just as a transformed Vander, but as the version who has endured the full saga of Arcane and emerged even more monstrous, yet with a flicker of his past self intact. But why does he look so different? Why doesn't he look like Arcane Warwick? Well, if this happened post-Arcane, right? Maybe he was inside the sumps of Zaun, inside Zaun, getting more, ingrained within the caustic chemicals of Zaun, that over time he kind of reverts to this more traditional Warwick that we see in League of Legends and in 2XKO now. He doesn't stay like this. After all, at this point, Victor is no more. Victor's not there. He's gone. So who's to say that Warwick running around, coming in contact with all these chemicals in Zaun, doesn't kind of slowly revert to the traditional Warwick that we see? So I think that over time, this Arcane Warwick running around in the sumps of Zaun does become more closely aligned to the original Warwick, which is a good thing. I prefer the original Warwick. I think that Arcane Warwick was a bit too gold, a bit too shiny. I like the gritty one with the claws and stuff and sewn onto him and the green alchemical rage running through him. That looks more promising to me. And who's to say that even between this, that Singe didn't pick him up again, find him in the sumps of Zaun, and begin work on him one more time. From the Rift to the Arena, abilities in 2XKO. Warwick's gameplay in 2XKO is a faithful and brutal translation in his kit from League of Legends. His core identity, a relentless life-stealing hunter, is perfectly captured. Let's break down the key parallels. So there's bloodlust and eternal hunger. In League of Legends, Warwick's is loud. Let me lower this a little bit. It's very loud. In League of Legends, Warwick's passive Eternal Hunger heals him on hit, with the healing increasing dramatically when he's low on health. This theme of growing stronger as the fight gets bloodier is the core of his 2XKO Bloodlust ability. As Warwick lands hits, his Bloodlust gauge fills. Once full, he gains access to powerful new specials, faster movements, and the ability to heal recoverable health. And you can see that here. he eventually gets Bloodlust. So the more damage you do with Warwick and 2x KO, you eventually get this Bloodlust ability, and builds up over time. There's also Eternal Hunger passive. That's the League of Legends ability. Same thing. So he's hitting, and if he's lower on health, he's able to like recover health. So just like the build up over time here and him being low on health, this kind of builds up and eventually gives him the Rage. There's Feral Feast, Rage of the Beast, and Jaws of the Beast. Warwick's signature bite is the staple in both games. In League of Legends, his Jaws of the Beast Q is a lunge and a bite that heals him. 2x KO splits it into two moves, a charged headbutt, Rage of the Beast, and a healing maul, Feral Feast, that is only available during the Bloodlust state. So this is Feral Feast. Right? This is Rage of the Beast, I think. Yeah. Right? Let me see. I know I have them labeled. Hold on. 2x KO abilities. Let me make sure I have that right. Champions. Warwick. Where is it? Primal Leap Cancel. Feral Feast. Yeah, okay, I was right. Where is it? Yeah. Okay, yeah, Feral Feast, Rage of the Beast. And then there's Jaws of the Beast in League of Legends, which is where he jumps forward and bites. And you can see that jump forward in both of these. Leap forward there, and then leap forward here. And then there's Blood Hunt. The essence of the hunt is Warwick's ability. Let me pause that. The essence of the hunt is Warwick's identity. His Blood Hunt W in League of Legends passively marks low health enemies, giving him massive speed boosts towards them. In 2x KO, Blood Hunt is an active super, and he sees him relentlessly pursue his target, perfectly capturing that feeling of being hunted by an unstoppable predator. So, I mean, he's not going to be able to run around the map in 2x KO, so it just makes him like an unstoppable force towards the target, instead of like a random low health target, right? I would have liked Blood Hunt to be able to pull in a low health target. I thought that could have been cool. Like whoever's less health on the team. So if you try to swap and Warwick, you're playing against Warwick, well, he can pull in your partner into the fight and swap you guys. But I don't know, maybe that would have been more difficult. Like him kind of hunting the low health target. But this is Blood Hunt, and you can see like he leaps forward, and then there's the ability starts. Yeah, we'll talk about that. And there's the Blood Hunt in League of Legends. You can see like him chasing the target that's low health. Then there's Infinite Duress. Warwick's ultimate Infinite Duress is his most iconic ability. In League of Legends, it's a massive skill shot leap that suppresses an enemy while he mauls them. In 2x KO version, it's a direct homage, serving as his level 3 super, where he leaps and unleashes a flurry of brutal slashes. And then this is Infinite Duress in League of Legends. So pretty similar, just like the buildup of it is a little different. A cinematic nod. This is, guys, it's like 1-to-1 the tie here. Riot Games often rewards longtime fans with subtle nods and references across their games. And Warwick's ultimate in 2x KO is a prime example. The animation of his Infinite Duress is a direct shot-for-shot recreation of his iconic pounce from the 2017 Eye of the Beast cinematic for Wild Rift. It's such a nod to Wild Rift, it's insane. This attention to detail not only looks incredible, but also connects the gameplay directly to one of the most memorable depictions of the champion. It's a fantastic homage that bridges the gap between lore, cinematic, and in-game mechanics. So I'll play this for you. Here. Here, this is his ultimate in 2x KO. You see him run on the walls, jumps down, does that, right? Very like, there's a couple steps there, you know? Okay. Where is it? Start right there, just the beginning. Zooms in on his eyes, they're all red. This is Eye of the Beast champion trailer. This is for Warwick and Wild Rift.
Begin report on subject number 1088. The transformation is nearly complete.
This is Singe talking.
Effects have been gruesome.
His eyes turn red, right? And so that's how the cinematic starts. Lower this a little bit. He's running on the walls. He leaps in with the moon behind him again. It's pretty very similar, the jump and everything. Still hunting criminals. Warwick's a good guy. Even as this beast, he's a good guy.
Creature of pure instinct. Efficient. Unstoppable.
Nice turn red, and look at this scene, this shot here. That's the shot that I want to leave it at. So now, I mean, really, guys, look at the Wild Rift cinematic and look at the 2XKO cinematic. He runs by, literally the run by is exactly Wild Rift, all the way back here. You see him run by the alley.
Gruesome.
Right, watch this. Boom, runs by the alley. Exact same shot here. Runs by the alley, starts hopping on the walls. Leaps up, does his little dive down. Hops on the walls, leaps up, does his little dive down. This time he lands on the guy. And you can kind of, it's just a faster, really faster nod to the cinematic. And it ends with this shot of like the shadow of him on the back walls, you know, doing his thing. Right there. And how does this one end? It ends with the same shot of like the shadow of him. I mean, that's like, it's 1-to-1. Oh my gosh, I messed it up. I messed it up for you guys. I'll show it again. It starts with him, his eyes turn red at the very beginning, right? All right, zooms in on his eyes, they turn red. Here, same thing. He starts off, zooming on his eyes, red. Smells the blood. Here, they're about to go red. Boom. His eyes turn red. And then the cinematic starts. First thing you see, he runs by that little whatever alley. Same thing, literally the same thing here. He runs by that little alley at the beginning. It's hard to even get it. It happens so fast. There, he's running by the alley, and then here, running by the alley. 1-for-1 shot. Right after this, he starts hopping on the walls. And then he leaps up and does his dive. Go to the 2XKO ultimate. He hops on the walls, ends up doing his little dive. Same thing. The only difference is it's the moon in this one, and it's like that glass from a building in this one, and in League of Legends Wild Rift one, it's the moon. Which makes more sense. He wouldn't be high enough to freaking get the moon behind him. And then it ends with this shot of him killing these guys. Like that shadow figure. There's like it's like the silhouette of him on the wall. And the 2XKO one ends the same way. Silhouette of him on the wall. And it's like literally almost the exact same pose. Oh, I expanded it. Literally almost the exact same pose as well. Yeah, it is the exact same pose. And look, the same exact shot of this guy getting flung back. This time it's Darius. I mean, that's 1-for-1. Exactly the same. It's absolutely a nod to Eye of the Beast. Yo, what up, Jan? The Howl of the Beast. Warwick enters 2XKO as a perfect fusion of a narrative depth and gameplay identity. He is the tragic monster of Zon, the lost father figure of Arcane, and a relentless rushdown fighter. Every claw swipe and savage howl is a testament to the character's rich and painful history, promising a truly visceral experience for players who dare to unleash the uncaged wrath of Zon. I think they did a great job translating him into 2XKO. The way his abilities work, the way the build up to Bloodlust, and the way he has certain abilities that unlock once he has Bloodlust and he kind of builds up over time. The only thing that I do wish is that his ultimate kind of pulled in the lower health character, like he was still hunting them, but that he lunges towards them is still pretty cool. But yeah, Warwick is now in 2XKO. Check him out if you have a PC. I would do it. Yo, thanks for the follow. Seems such a good vibe. Hi, your stream honestly is such a good vibe. I know you are focused, but I had to say you're killing it. Yo, no, that means a lot. Thanks, Lisa. I really appreciate it. Honestly, feel free to cut me off with nice words like that. I appreciate it. All right, 2XKO, done. We finished. 2XKO Warwick, check him out. We've got Arcane, and we've got the lore rankings. Runeterra regions ranked by lore. Who's number 1? Maybe we'll do the Arcane first, because that'll be the shortest thing. Riot announces the Arcane Faniversary event for November. Keep in mind, they really like November, guys. Yo, what up, Smosis? Arcane seems to really like November. I want to change the music for when we're talking Arcane. What's appropriate for Arcane, guys? Is it Zon music? No. No, it's Demacian music. Not Piltover music either. There we go. That's the appropriate music for Arcane, at least now. What up? Hello, hello. Okay. Riot announces Arcane Faniversary event for November. What a surprise. They really like November. A month-long celebration of Arcane. 1 year after its stunning conclusion, Riot Games is inviting fans back to the world of Piltover and Zon with the Arcane Faniversary, a month-long online celebration this November. The event is designed to give the community new ways to engage with the landmark series through behind-the-scenes content, creator Q&As, and the return of a popular in-game items and merchandise. In the official announcement, Riot laid out the scoop for the celebration. Join us this November for Arcane Faniversary, an online celebration of the series' epic conclusion last year. Throughout the month, Riot will restock fan favorites and launch new ways to engage with casts and creatives. This event signals Riot's continued commitment to the Arcane IP, acknowledging its massive cultural impact and providing dedicated fans with a chance to dive deeper into its creation. I'm surprised at how many fans are just like Arcane fans and solely Arcane fans, and that's all they are. Like they never ventured into League of Legends. Don't even know 2XKO is a game that's coming out, but they're just like, I like Arcane. I recently played 2XKO for the first time, and it went pretty well. 2XKO here is new player friendly. I wish I had a PC. I'm freaking on a Mac. I'm trying to get a PC soon, but as soon as I do, I'm gonna give it a shot. I played as Alawi, and Arcane Anniversary sounds fun. I would play Alawi in 2XKO. She's one of my favorite characters. I think I'd give like, I like the, in terms of the cast list for 2XKO. I like Alawi, Braum. I don't know if I'd play Teemo. I'd consider it. But Alawi, Braum, Blitzcrank, and Warwick, I think are the characters I'd play the most. Yeah, that's a good group. That's a good group. But I think they're all heavy. It's like I would need a light. I think I just like the bigger characters. Maybe that's my problem. Yeah, Arcane Faniversary. An Arcane Faniversary sounds fun. It does. It's like a way for everyone to kind of get together, at least the real fans of Arcane that are keeping up with the news. Behind the scenes, looking back at Arcane, this is how it's going to take place. And November, guys, just keep November in mind. It seems like November is a really popular date for Arcane. A major highlight of the Faniversary is a new YouTube series titled Looking Back Arcane. Riot will release new episodes on the official YouTube channel on November 10th, 17th, and 24th. It's almost like we're getting the next episodes of Arcane, really, because they always released in November, and they always released weekly. Each episode, well, this is not like weekly, but still. Each episode will be composed of the 5 chapters, offering a comprehensive look into the show's development. Is that weekly? Oh, it is. Yeah, 10th, 17th, 24th. Yeah, so it's like composed by 5 chapters offering a comprehensive look into the show's development. Untold Stories with Alex Yee delve into the narrative threads and the lore with one of the show's co-creators. Behind the Music with Alex Seaver and Alex Temple explore the creation of the iconic emotionally charged score. And 1 year later with the cast, rejoin the voice actors as they reflect on their roles as the show's reception. Everyone's going to be asking Jinx, will they return? Making of Season 2 with Fortiche. Get a glimpse into the animation process with the acclaimed French studio. I hope this stuff is like live, which I don't think it will be. Yeah, they're gonna be releasing videos, so there's no room for mistakes. Like it's not like they're answering questions live. It's gonna be kind of made very careful. I also really like the Buhuru religion after playing Rune King. Yeah, the Buhuru are awesome. A lot of people don't know too much about the Buhuru people. Alawi there's like, oh, she's like a Hawaiian, she's from Bilgewater, but the Buhuru people have their own They're the people of Bilgewater, and it's not called the Bilgewater to them, it's called the Serpentiles. I never paid attention to that. That is that they always release in November. Yes, they always release in November. That's important for the next article that's coming up on what's next. Additionally, fans will have direct line to the creators through the series Reddit's AMAs hosted on the Arcane subreddit on November 13th, 19th to 26th. But still, like when you're typing, it's easier not to make a mistake than when you're live, which we caught them in, I think, one mistake where he was talking about a fight, one of the Fortiche people. He was talking about a fight in the cinematic between, Welcome to Noxus, between Garen and Trundle. And he said Garen and Darius instead of Trundle and Garen. Hawaii. Yeah, I mean, she looks Hawaiian, right? They definitely give me, the Buddha people give me like a Hawaiian Islander vibe kind of thing. Return in-game cosmetics. As announced in the latest dev update, a wealth of Arcane-themed content is returning to Riot's ecosystem of games with some notable upgrades. League of Legends updates and returns. All Arcane skins from both seasons are returning to the store. The legendary Arcane Fractured Jinx skin is receiving a significant update, which includes a new spawn-in animation at the start of the game, and visual updates across all 3 of her weapon forms. Additionally, the Shimmer Drinks and Powder skins will get brand new recall animations. Riot confirmed that these upgrades will be free for anyone who already owns the skins, rewarding early adopters. And there's TFT and Wild Rift returns, and Teamfight Tactics cosmetic like Arcane Jinx Unbound are scheduled to return on November 5th. Meanwhile, Wild Rift players will be able to purchase the Arcane skins at a discount during the event. And so there's like some new and restocked merchandise kind of thing. So feel free to take a look at that. That's it for the Arcane Faniversary. I'm excited. I'm excited, honestly. I think the Arcane Faniversary is going to be fun. I'm excited to see what they reveal. I wonder if we're going to get any kind of teaser for what's coming again. They've already teased a little bit of what's coming, but I wonder if we're going to get some kind of little update at the end, maybe on the Arcane subreddit or maybe via the YouTube as to what's to come, just some kind of hint. But we do have a little bit of a hint as well. Not the Arcane Faniversary event. Yeah, this is big. So huge, massive shout out to Snowy Alex for sending me this role. I would have never seen it. I would have never noticed it. But on the Riot Careers page, there is a new role. It's the Principal Creative Producer for Film, TV, and Animation. So feel free to take a look at that. But a new role around film and TV animation from Riot Games. It has to do with Arcane. Mistakes happen. No Legends of Runeterra stuff? Not right now. I mean, we can definitely go over what's new for Legends of Runeterra. They got a new patch and everything, and all that stuff is up. We can go through their dev snack shop, which just came out recently. I watched it, got a whole article on it, the dev AMA. So there is news on Legends of Runeterra, but I've only got so much time to cover in like the 2-hour span of this stream. So I just cover the main hitters. It's my main Riot game, mine too. I started getting into Riot games from Legends of Runeterra. That's the first game I played and still the game I played the most. Hopefully there'll be some spoilers, sound exciting. Yeah, there's definitely something here. There's something here with this role. Riot reveals huge plans for Life After the Arcane, a new show and movie. Riot expands cinematic universe beyond Arcane's finale. So they released a new role and the end of an era. With the final act of Arcane Season 2 released in November of 2024, yeah, that's when Arcane Season 2 ended, was also in November and released in November. The groundbreaking story of the sisters Vi and Jinx has officially concluded. While the series finale left fans eager for more, Riot Games has made it clear, while they are far from done with animation, they are moving on to new stories from the vast world of Runeterra. To celebrate the show's monumental impact, Riot has announced an Arcane Faniversary event for this November. According to the official announcement on October 6th, this online celebration will give fans a chance to look back at the series and its conclusion. They said, join us November for Arcane Faniversary, an online celebration of the series' epic conclusion last year. Throughout the month, Riot will restock fan favorites and launch new ways to engage with casts and creatives. In November, and the event promises new behind-the-scenes content, Reddit AMAs, and a creative team, and the return of popular in-game cosmetics and merchandise. This serves as a fitting epilogue to the series, honoring its legacy, while Riot pivots to what comes next. Building the future. Riot's future in animation isn't just a vague promise, it's dedicated, expanding operation. A recent job posting for a principal creative producer, film, TV, animation in Los Angeles provides a clear look at the scale of their ambitions. This isn't a role for a single project, but an entire slate of productions. The job description outlines high-level creative leader responsible for guiding multiple projects from concept to delivery. This indicates a strategic move to build a sustainable pipeline for animated content, much like established cinematic universes. So, I mean, think about the Marvel universe. They have a bunch of different stories that all happen, some at different times, some at the same time, and some happen in the past, the future, but all within the same universe. I think that's what Riot's trying to do with the Arcane in the universe of Runeterra, is create these different stories, which is why they're moving past Jinx and Vi into a different area of Runeterra. That sounds exciting. I mean, the Arcane event, yeah, it does. Everything is November. Osmosis, you're starting to get it. November is Arcane month, guys. It's Arcane month. The language here is key. This thing, the language, the mention of a theatrical feature films alongside premium television series confirms that Riot is planning to expand onto the big screen. Hiring Obtusa to oversee an entire slate rather than just a show signals a long-term commitment to building a diverse portfolio of stories within Runeterra rather than just producing a linear successor to Arcane. So they're branching out. There's going to be more shows and more movies. It's not just going to be one thing that they're working on. They're working on a couple different things. Timeline and what's next. We've talked about that, by the way. I'm very confident. It's not even like I'm confident that they're doing a live action for Bilgewater, and they're doing they've already confirmed that they said Nox, Ionia, Demacia, one of those three, and I'm pretty confident at this point that it's going to be Demacia. And we've talked about that in other videos and other articles. Timeline and what's next. While official release dates are still years away, we can piece together and reason projection based on production cycles and official statements. The acclaimed studio Fortiche is confirmed to be working on the next projects, but animation of this quality takes time. This leads to a widely speculated release window, which is massive, but between 2027 and 2029 for the next major series. The logic behind the timeline. This window isn't just a random guess, it's based on established production data. Let's break down the calculus. Arcane Season 1 took 6 years. The first season took roughly 6 years to develop, and this involved building the animation pipeline, developing the unique art style, and foundational world building from scratch. But Arcane Season 2 took only 3 years. The second season was completed in a much shorter 3-year cycle, but keep in mind, they're able to reuse a lot of assets. A lot of the world was already built out, and they already had like the pipeline kind of defined on how they work on these projects. So the creative and technical foundation was already laid, allowing for a more streamlined process. The next series, I project like 3 to 4 years. While the Fortiche pipeline now exists, a new series set in a different region requires extensive pre-production. This includes designing new characters, environments, cultures, storyboarding, an entirely new plot. This makes a 3-year cycle like Season 2 very ambitious. A 3 to 4 year production cycle from when work can begin reportedly in late 2024, places the earliest possible release in late 2027, with 2028-2029 being a more conservative and realistic estimate. The significance of November. November is coming. Pirates of the Caribbean Runeterra version. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I think, so the main thing that Arcane did is it pulled in casual people that don't usually watch, aren't into the Runeterra world. They're not into League of Legends. They're not into Legends of Runeterra, 2XKO, whatever. They just watch TV, and it pulled them into the Runeterra universe. It pulled in the casuals. It really did. And so I think that a pirate theme will resonate with them as well. Like Pirates of the Caribbean style. Like you go in, you hit those familiar tropes of pirates, and then you pull in, the bigger stuff. Like, let me pull up the map of Runeterra. Let me pull it up. Just because, it definitely has some fantastical, every region does. The good thing about Piltover and Zaun is that it was so baseline. It was so base. Like Piltover and Zaun was really, you can understand like the characters, the Zaunites downtrodden, these little kids growing up in Zaun, looking at Piltover with envy and wanting to get a piece of like that luxury and trying to bring it down to Zaun. Bilgewater has a lot of those same familiar tropes that people can understand. You're going into Bilgewater, you got the pirates, they're they're rough, they're tumble, whatever. You get misfortune as a child growing up. And then you start exploring the Buhru people. And then you get introduced to the Harrowings. And then you get introduced to the sea monsters and Nagakaburos and more fantastical stuff. So Bilgewater is another great zone that I think will do amazing things for the Arcane universe. But that one I do think is going to be a live action. The animation is going to be between Demacia, Noxus, and Ionia. And I've talked about it that I do believe that. Pretty likely it's going to be Demacia. Not gonna lie, Demacia does not sound quite fit yet. In my opinion, Noxus into Demacia or Noxus into Ionia. Noxus is already getting fleshed out dramatically with what we're currently exploring in Runeterra. Like we already have a ton of cinematics. Fortitia's already done a ton of work with Noxus. Demacia seems like the next logical step, especially if we follow the story of Xin Zhao and the events that lead him to going to Ionia. And Demacia has a lot of established like political intrigue that I think resonates a lot with players, with regular people, you know, just your average viewer. Demacia has like that political side to it, right? With the king and Lux and Garen being brothers and sisters and Silas being imprisoned. And you can definitely start grounded in those characters when they're young and then explore Kael and Morgana and the more fantastical stuff like Shyvana and stuff like that. So I think Demacia actually is a great choice for the next part of the series. But I can see like with Noxus being so fleshed out currently that it makes sense like, oh, let's just go to Noxus. But I think going to Noxus will kind of, it's already like kind of getting fleshed out via the game, via League of Legends. And you could pull in certain characters like it could be before, during it could start at the first war between Noxus and Demacia. And then go to the second war, right? And talk about Jarvan the Fourth as he's getting older. And you could pull in Mbessa and Mel and the Black Rose with LeBlanc infiltrating Demacia and stuff like that because they have with the Mage Seeker Order. But yeah, I'm not saying Noxus and Ionia are completely bad moves. They're great moves. Either way, either show that they make will be great. But I think Demacia makes the most sense. Just because the Ionia and Noxus, the story is getting fleshed out now. They haven't touched Demacia. And I think that's for a reason. There was a lot of back and forth in the first season as well. What would you prefer, Demacia or Ionia? To be honest, I'm fine with any region. Yeah, I think any region that they do is going to be good. I don't think it's going to matter. Like, I think if they do Noxus, it's going to be great. Ionia is going to be great. There's no bad... Guys, in terms of the lore of Runeterra, Piltover and Zaun is some of the weakest lore in all of Runeterra. It really was. I know the lore of every single region. I'll tell you that confidently, that before Arcane, Piltover and Zaun had some of the weakest lore in all of Runeterra. Absolutely. Every region had better lore than Piltover and Zaun. So what they can do with these other regions, I mean, it'll be way better. And we're going to go through a list. Like, I'm going to organize it. We have a list coming up. Maybe we'll get back to the news of the top regions ranked. Based on their lore, I ranked every single region. And Piltover is not so great. The thing about Demacia, in my opinion, it just doesn't have enough B or C plots. The main thing is just the whole mages thing and Silas's rebellion. That's true. Let me go back to it. That's true, right? Demacia. But you have to remember that Demacia has ties to like the Sentinels of Light, which I think that I would love to see them fix. The Sentinels of Light are located over here, and they use the weapons from the Blessed Isles and, go against Viego during the Ruination. Demacia has a lot of ties to Noxus, which is the Mage Seekers and them being infiltrated. They have the Arcane Fists over in the Greenfang Mountains, which is a group of war mages. I agree that, and they have the Freljord, right? You have Sejuani. This is literally, I think, that's Demacian Raptors, but Sejuani has a whole story where she's pushing through to the great city of Demacia. There's the demons, Fiddlesticks, and Morgan. Fiddlesticks and Nocturne both have stories within Demacia. Fiddlesticks especially, so you can explore some of the demonic stuff that can touch on Iona a little bit, but touch on the 10 Demon Kings with Fiddlesticks and Nocturne. There's other stuff. What am I forgetting? I know I'm missing something. Another plot point. There's definitely a lot of evil witches in Demacia. I mean, people being turned into harpies, basically. What am I missing? There's another huge story in Demacia that I'm missing. Oh, freaking Rise is storing the world runes. Demacia Vault. Yeah. Deep beneath an ancient petrosite grove, Rise has found a forgotten vault where the volatile energies of the world rune shards can be safely contained. The world runes are in magic on a nuclear level and literally almost destroyed the world, and Rise is storing them underneath a petrosite tree vault within Demacia. Right there. So there's a lot of stories that Demacia ties into, and they said, you know, they're exploring like the major threats. And I think Demacia could have more to do with the ruination than the mage seekers and them being mages, although that will definitely play a part. And oh right, I kind of forgot about the Sentinels. Yeah, I mean, you should. A lot of people try to. It really kind of messed up a couple of characters, in my opinion. I think the Sentinels of Light event, I would love to see Arcane take a stab at fixing it. I mean, freaking Pantheon gets possessed again. How many times is this guy gonna get possessed? He's supposed to be like a god level character. I was just referring to the continuation of Arcane. Like, there is no link or direct link between Arcane and Demacia. However, there is between Arcane and Noxus, and they can use this. Like, from Arcane, go to Noxus and Demacia and the whole thing. Yeah, absolutely. Like, you can hit on familiar characters in Noxus. Show Ambessa and Mel. If they want to go that direction, you can definitely go to the earlier times of Noxus. We know that the war between Noxus and Ionia happened. We see them reference Swain at the end with the three-eyed raven, right? And so they've teased Realm already, which is a demon that you will only find in Noxus. He's within the Mortal Bastion. And I have a theory that he controlled Mordekaiser and built the Immortal Bastion and all this stuff. And he is basically siphoning souls to his realm. I don't want to get into it, but I'm just saying there's a lot of good story there in Noxus that isn't explored. And they've teased with Swain at the end with the three-eyed raven. That's definitely Swain. They can go back to like the time of Borum Darkwill and explain how the Noxus Ionian War happened. All that stuff is very good, great lore, and it could be fleshed out in a series. The tie that I think was going to take them to Demacia, believe it or not, is Jinx. I actually think that Jinx would never end up in Noxus. She could end up in Ionia, but it's tough to get into Ionia. Okay, Noxus spent years and had to get a Vastayan freaking slave from Kumungra to take them into Ionia in a back door. So you can't just fly over to Ionia. It's a land of enchanted magic protected by mystical trees. What makes sense to me is that she would go to Demacia, and she can really relate and tie well with Lux, because Jinx has her own problems with Vi and Lux has her own problems with Garen. Why Jinx? Because she's a massive fan favorite, and we see Jinx fly away on that ship at the end of Arcane. I can show this. So at the beginning of Arcane, let me pull up my video. We see Jinx fly away at the end of Arcane. One sec. Okay.
And we even end with Caitlyn.
Hold on. Let me show it here. Yeah, I think I show it like right here. Okay, this ship flying away. Okay, at the beginning of Arcane, we see this. Jinx literally teases it. She says, one day I'm going to fly on one of those things.
I'm going to ride in one of those things.
Things.
And then this is her.
Right there. She's flying in that ship.
That's how this Arcane ends.
Over. And even at the end, right before the credits roll, this purple flashes and it literally...
The end. Jinx is leaving. She says, always with you, sis, and then she takes off. She leaves after the explosion. Her goal is to break the cycle of destruction, right? Of pain and suffering and all this stuff that she believes that she is a result of, right? The Silas, or not Silas, wow. Silco literally tells her in her vision in Arcane, I'm going to quote him here, the cycle only breaks when you walk away. The cycle of killing and death that like him and Vander were in. And now Jinx sees her and Vi in it. He's saying it only ends when you walk away, and Jinx is walking away. And I think the story would continue showing where Jinx goes. But it wouldn't just show like that part. I think that we'd explore earlier Demacia and lead into that. But it started off with like Jinx showing up in Demacia. Right, I know about the first time watching, I missed this. Oh yeah, I know that. I mean, another thing is like I have a whole article on it too, and a whole video up. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, if you go to my channel, I know there's like a couple videos. There's the Arcane Season 3 lore. I go through all the lore of Demacia, the Civil War explained and all that. And I also have this Arcane Season 3 video, and it talks about like how they kind of accidentally leaked that Demacia is next. We know it's Demonoxys, Ionia, or Demacia, and there was a couple slip-ups here that really point heavily towards Demacia. Question is, what was the AWB or destination for the ship that Jinx was on? We don't really know. I mean, we just know it's going over the sea. That's all. So, I mean, we're assuming that it's Jinx, right? I feel like it is Jinx. And we see it going over the water. She's either going to the right or to the left. Now, Jinx could show up maybe in the live action for Bilgewater as well. That's another play. We know that there's a live action coming up for Bilgewater based on where they're shooting, which is like somewhere in Indonesia or something like that. And it literally looked, the location of the filming looks like Bilgewater. And so if they're flying over here and we see this Bilgewater, that could make sense for Jinx as well. That she like, you know, ends up in Bilgewater and it's like a bustling city. And we know that part of Jinx's outfit, the outfit that we see in Arcane Season 2, is actually a remnant of a story that they had for Jinx. She goes to Bilgewater between Arcane Season 1 and Arcane Season 2 when she gets older. That she actually goes to Bilgewater and her outfit is a remnant of that. That's why she looks like a pirate the whole time. So if we're doing a live action in Bilgewater, Jinx could also end up there in Bilgewater, which also makes sense. Technically, I know people always say Lux and Jinx are friends. That's like an alternate universe. I think it's a Star Guardians universe. So they've never actually met. It'd be really interesting to see Jinx end up in both places. I think she fits more in Bilgewater, but I think it'd be more interesting to see her in Demacia. I could see Jinx in Bilgewater. Yeah, I mean, literally the directors could see Jinx in Bilgewater. That's where she goes between like that time gap when they get older. Jinx literally goes to Bilgewater. And there's Bilgewater references in Arcane all the time. Those two characters at the beginning in that saloon. Bar, scene, Arcane, pirates. Let's see. This person has it. Let me see. Yeah, they're literally trading here. Those are literally people from Bilgewater. And they're trading, by the way, in Buhru coin. This is Buhru coin. This is from they don't look like serpent krakens or whatever. But there's a lot of Buhru reference in those coins for sure. These guys are from Bilgewater. They look like pirates. This guy has like the skull and bones on his wrist. These are pirates from Bilgewater. And so Jinx's story could have tied into them very well, these characters, and explain a little bit more on how they end up in Piltover and Zaun. There was also a cinematic for Wild Rift, I think, where Jinx and Lux interact. Yeah, that's not really, there's nothing like canon about that. But yeah, there is that cinematic where they do interact. Of course, not canon one. Oh yeah, so yeah, not canon. But they do interact in that cinematic as well. Man, you guys know how to get me on a tangent. What's going on? I didn't know that was Buhru money. Yeah, that's definitely Buhru money. The look of it, it looks like Alawi slapped on a coin. The significance of November. Let me finish this article. The fact that both seasons of Arcane premiered in November is almost certainly a deliberate strategy, not a coincidence. And now, what do we have? The freaking November Arcane Faniversary is in November. So not a coincidence. We can speculate that Riot will adhere to this window for future major releases for several key reasons. Awards season. A November release positions a prestige series perfectly for consideration in major awards cycles like Emmys and Annie Awards, and it's fresh in voters' minds. Holiday viewership. It's a prime viewing window globally, coinciding with holidays and colder weather, maximizing the initial audience and cultural buzz. Riot's internal cadence. The release aligns perfectly with the end of League of Legends Worlds Championship, typically like late October and early November. I think this is the most recent, by the way. But these two reasons also like make sense. creating a seamless transition of hype from esports to entertainment and keeping the community engaged through the game's preseason. This trifecta of strategic advantages makes a future November release a powerful and likely precedent for Riot's animated slate. So you can see, like, that was when Arcane Season 1 released in 2021, Arcane Season 2 released in 2024. This is probably future planning, we'll say, for whatever comes next. And the series will probably release in 2027 to 2029. And what would be really cool, right, is the Riot MMO we know is a thing and it's coming out. When will it come out? Most likely, we said between 2028, 2029, before 2030 timeline. I think that this next series will coincide very closely with the Riot MMO. And so it's going to be November of 2027, 2029, and the Riot MMO will probably come out right before that or the year after that. So it'll either come out the summer leading up to the November release, or the November release will happen and it'll happen the following summer. But they'll definitely coincide and they'll hype each other up, just like Lord of the Rings hyped up World of Warcraft, however intentionally or unintentionally. I think a lot of the success of World of Warcraft ties heavily to the success of Lord of the Rings, which is one of the greatest series ever made. Does Alawi marry Braum in lore? Alawi likes Braum, for sure. In Rune King, there's a lot of love interest there. Alawi really likes Braum, but Braum's just such an innocent soul that he like never even realizes it. I think they would make a great couple though, for sure. Braum is either oblivious or not interested in her. Yeah, he's just like such an innocent soul that it's like not even registering to him. But Alawi likes him. He only interested in Poros. Yeah, he does like the Poros. That would make sense to combine a new show with MMO, right? Right? So we're getting something, guys. Either November 2027, 2028, or 2029. I think the MMO is going to release in probably 2029. With Alpha 2026, we're going to get some kind of news, like a cinematic with the title in 2026. 2026, 2027 will be the Alpha, 2027, 2028 will be the Beta, release in 2029. And I think if I had to really pick a date, this next series in Arcane will release in November of 2028. So November 2028, Arcane releases the first series. And then, or it could actually be 2027. It's going to be a two-part. Let's say it's two series. It'll either be 2027 and 2028 or 2028 and 2029. And I think 2028 and 2029 makes more sense because then you have 2028 November, Arcane Season 3, we'll call it, releases. Then in the summer, after Arcane Season 3, will be the Riot MMO. And then in November, post-Riot MMO release, will be Arcane Season 4, which is 2029. So that's my speculation. And we know, I talked about this, like with the timeline in mind, the question becomes where? Riot has confirmed the next stories will explore different corners of Runeterra, with 3 regions officially teased: Noxus, the brutal expansionist empire; Ionia, a land of vibrant magic and fierce warriors; and Demacia, the proud lawful kingdom, defied by its frickin' racism and anti-magic stance. They're magist. While the wait for the next chapter may be long, Riot's strategic moves show a clear and exciting vision. The world of Runeterra is about to get much, much bigger. Next series! I'm very excited. I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be great, guys. I really do. I do think Demacia and Bilgewater are the next moves, but nothing hard confirmed officially. We just have some rules that point to it, timeline a little bit more, and we can speculate based on what we've seen. The world of Runeterra is about to get much, much bigger. And man, the world of Runeterra is great. It's a great time to be a fan of Runeterra. There's so much stuff in the works, so many untitled R&D projects being created. There's the top-down, I think, maybe a Diablo-style game that's going to be working on for the Chinese studio. There's the Riot MMO being developed by the studio over here in America in Los Angeles. Tons of new media productions. Yeah, me too. Super excited. It's a great time to be a fan of Runeterra. It really is. It really is. Next up, it's time to rank Runeterra regions by lore. Who's number 1? Well, I kind of hint at it already via the thumbnail. Who's number 12? Runeterra's realms ranked a lore deep dive from gilded cities to frozen wastes. Who has the best lore in Runeterra? Let's figure it out. There's a new job posting on characters. Dang it. Let me see. Let me see. Send me the link. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Work with us, right? You go here. What is it? Do I select product team? Riot Discovery. Riot Discovery? No. Character artist? The Shanghai China one? The question is, who are the rest? Freljord. The question is, who are the rest? Yeah. I agree. Freljord. Yeah. Anyway, I feel like we're all like Runeterra lore fans. And so we have our, we know all the lore. And so I think if you learn all the lore of Runeterra, you're going to be like Freljord for sure. Freljord is number one. Fight me. I'll die on that hill too. Yeah, Riot Discovery. It seems like there's a lot of character artists, but those aren't for the Riot MMO, do you think? It literally says Riot MMO when, hold on. Riot Discovery. There's a way like, select project. MMO. Software engineer, game designer. We talked about the AI roles. Arts, environment, characters. Senior technical artist, characters, unpublished. I don't think I've ever seen this one. Is this it? Como, is this the one you're talking about? Because I don't know if I've ever seen this one. Wish I could see a published date, like when this role was published. Work with our team, technical artists, and architectural scalable character pipelines to support highly modular. It's under MMO project, senior technical artist characters. Yeah, this is it then. Okay. We're building an ambitious next-gen MMO in League of Legends universe. The kind of scale and flexibility creates incredible technical challenges, especially for characters. We're looking for a senior-level technical artist working with our talented team to architect the backbone of our character systems, ensuring our game can scale to support millions of players, permutations, and the vast expanse of Runeterra. As a senior technical artist, characters you'll shape the deformation, customization, and integration pipelines that make our characters feel alive, both in look and feel. This isn't about rigging a hero or two. It's about designing systems that can support a constantly evolving, deeply customizable character ecosystem. You'll collaborate with animators, concept artists, engineers, and designers to ensure our characters look great, move well, and scale smartly across a living world of choice and diversity. Responsibilities. Okay. So this person is going to be, they say this isn't about rigging a hero or two, because, I mean, you're going to have to rig freaking tons of characters. But it's about designing the system to support, like, rigging tons of characters within the customizable character ecosystem. So it sounds like they're going to build, like, a rig builder, like design a new system that allows you to create and pump out these characters as quickly as possible, but while still looking great, moving well, and scale smartly across the living world. So, not my, I mean, that's really what my takeaway from this is. We have to get into the responsibility. I think the juice is always in responsibilities. This is always like high level what you're going to be doing. Responsibilities is where the juice is at. Hello, do you think the Riot MMO will have skins as monetization? I freaking hope not, but it's hard for me to think of another way to monetize. I do think it's going to be a battle pass. It's going to be... Let's change up the music a little bit. It's going to be a battle pass for sure. I just hope there's no in-game store. But I think that might be likely. I know it's going to be free to play. That's guaranteed. Every single Riot title that they have right now is free to play. We look at the titles like... Why is this not working? Not Riot Grove, Riot Games. League of Legends has a store and a battle pass. Valorant, store and battle pass. Teamfight Tactics, store and battle pass. Legends of Runeterra, store and battle pass. Wild Rift, store and battle pass. Riftbound, store. I mean, it's a card game. 2SKO is going to have like a store and a battle pass. So... every single game that they've ever come out with now has a store and a battle pass. So the MMO we know will have that. The question is, what do they put into it? The game has to make money. I think a battle pass is a great system because everything is earnable as long as you play the game, and it's like how much you play and like how much you invest, and you can unlock stuff probably via PvP, PvE. You can really do whatever you want. It's just like an incentive, like to earn specific unique things. But it's like, what would they put in the store in the battle pass other than cosmetics? There's toys. You can put like toys in there for sure. Battle pets. But some things need to stay excluded. One person mentioned one thing that I thought was a really good idea was if you're gonna sell cosmetics like armor and gear, they should only be certain pieces. Like your helmet can never be a purchasable item. Your shoulders can never be a purchasable item. Your cloak or whatever. But you can buy chest piece or belt or something like that. So like they limit it where you recognize that, because you don't want to defeat the purpose of recognizability in the MMO, in the world, in the space. One of the best things about Classic, so let me pull up Classic here. Classic, World of Warcraft, let's say like Ironforge, whatever. I actually play Horde, but I feel like the Horde cities, man, I'm going to pull up Orgrimmar, it's going to be orange. I'm going to get blasted in the face with the orange color. I want to shop, like, yeah. Yeah, this is a good one. Open image in new tab. Oh, I can't really expand it. Okay. I need a shot of like a bunch of characters in a city so I can show my point. I mean, that's a decent one too. That looks like after freaking the plague. That's really tiny. Ironforge. Hub. That's too many people. Okay, this one's a good one. Yeah, this one's a good one. So look around and you could tell exactly what level people are and what skill they are and like how high of level they are just right off the bat. You know, looking at this guy over here on the right, like he's like Baron's level, like in the teens. He's from Wailing Caverns. He's got some shoulders or whatever. Like you can tell exactly just from looking at him how powerful he is. This guy up here doesn't even have shoulders yet. So he's like even lower level. This is so tiny though. Man, can I get like a decently sized image? It's so tiny. Can you guys even see? You get what I'm saying, right? Like you can tell instantly from looking at someone what level they are and how much they've done. And you walk into a hub city and you see a guy decked out in gear. It's immediately apparent how powerful they are. In classic WoW, you can tell a mount immediately, like someone on an epic mount versus a basic mount, and they look different and they are all earnable. There's not store mounts where someone bought a freaking golden dragon off the store and just looks amazing right off the bat, and if you didn't know that that was a store mount, you'll think this person accomplished an insanely difficult thing when in reality he just swiped his credit card. So stuff needs to be, I don't think you sell mounts on the store. I think you can sell cosmetics, but I really agree with this one person who told me this. I don't remember who it was. I wish I could call them out, but like limit it. Certain items are exclusive and will never be purchasable on the store. That way people are recognizable on their skill and their merit rather than just their purchasing power IRL. Wait, oh, that's the insane confirmation, right? They're calling the champions, we play heroes and not champions. Well, I think what they're calling out about I think they're talking about like the characters within the game, not like us, the player, but the characters in the world. So if Lux is a character, Taric is a character, you know, Jinx and Vi are characters. I think they're talking about the characters that you're going to interact with in that role, not like the player character. But they have some money somehow. Yeah, they have to make money somehow, for sure. A free-to-play fighting game is pretty uncommon, but they made it. Yeah, Riot has the right idea. Free-to-play, but with a battle pass. I think a battle pass is the best monetization system because you pay for it monthly, but then you unlock it via playing the game. It's not just a card swipe. So if someone buys a battle pass and they unlock the last item in a battle pass, I don't feel like that's pay to win. I feel like that's, you know, they still earned it. It's not like they didn't earn it at all. And you shouldn't be able to buy progression in the battle pass. So you shouldn't be able to just buy like the battle pass and you just buy the whole thing outright, like buy all the levels. But that seems like a common thing too. What about the idea of them what about this idea for them? They offer skins for items, meaning like magical items, rare items, legendary items, unique items, and their own skins. Ooh. Ooh, so you still have to unlock the item, right? But you can purchase skins for that item. So the item itself is still unlocked. You earned the sword in the raid, but you can purchase like skins for the sword. I like that. That's pretty cool. Wow. Okay, so 2 good ideas. One is that certain items are locked, you can't purchase them, so you'll never be able to purchase a helmet on the store. So a helmet is immediately recognizable based on a person's skill level. You walk in a city, you see someone with a helmet, you'll know that person earned that helmet and around about where they earned it. It won't be like they just purchased it on the store. And 2, you can purchase skins for the items that you earn in the game. So like you earn a rare sword in a raid, well, you can purchase the skins for it, kind of thing. I guess, yeah, that could be good. I really don't like a store at all. I wish it was just a battle pass, ideally, because in an MMO, endgame is the way you look. It's different than other games. Helder Venero just became a member? Helder Venero just became a member? Yo, what? Yo, Helder Verino, Helder, thank you so much. Jeez. Yo, thank you. I really appreciate that. You have no idea. Thank you so much. Wow. Thanks for becoming a member. Jeez. Man, so silent about it. Just says, hey, he became a member in my chat. Thank you so much. To be honest, I think there'll be more than just battle pass consideration, Riot, track history. I think it's going to be a battle pass in the store. It's just about how much they do the battle pass in the store. You know, like, is it going to be... The difference between an MMO and other projects is that in an MMO, the way you look is the end game. In Valorant, it's not. You can sell a cosmetic gun all you want. No one's going to care. Because the way you look in Valorant doesn't matter. If you get shot in the head, you get shot in the head and you die. And there's winners and losers. Same thing with freaking 2XKO. Like, the way you look doesn't really matter. There's probably going to be skins that you can unlock via playing a lot, like playing a character a lot, you can unlock a skin. That skin matters, but the other skins don't. The difference between an MMO and other games is that the way you look matters, and the way you look is endgame. That's why transmog exists, is because even World of Warcraft knows that the way you look is endgame content. And making your character look badass, so you could stand in the middle of a hub city and be recognized for it. The problem is with transmog and being able to purchase cosmetics is that it is pay to win in MMO, where it's not pay to win in other games. That's the problem. And so you have to be really careful when you start selling cosmetics, because then it becomes the guy that worked really hard, worked his butt off to get this epic mount that dropped off this raid boss, like pushed himself so hard, did work on the weekends, like helped his guild farming mats and did all this effort to get this mount, and yet the guy who purchased the store mount looks cooler than his. That's a problem. That's where you get into the problem. That when a player's work is outweighed by a person's credit card. That doesn't happen in other games, but it happens in MMOs, because you put work into obtaining those. The reward for your work is the cosmetic, not the rank. In Valorant, the reward for your work is the rank. 2XKO, same thing, League of Legends. Your reward is your rank. In MMOs, it's not really your rank. It's not your title. It's not your achievement list. It's the way you look. So I would argue that cosmetics are pay to win in MMO. You need to find another way to do it, or another way to limit it where it doesn't hinder in-game. Like, mounts shouldn't be purchasable in the store, and certain cosmetics shouldn't be purchasable in the store. You won't have a common item with a legendary skin on it. Yeah, exactly. Like I really don't like transmog. Like, you just wear a common. People come out level 5 and they just look freaking glowing stars all over their backs, and they're lighting up like crazy. And he's riding a golden horse on fire because he just bought all the stuff. Tracker with Helder. Oh yeah, no problem. Thanks, Helder. Freaking insane. I appreciate it. Ionet. It's like buying. I don't know how to pronounce the name. Ionet. I keep seeing. I mean, I appreciate all the comments. I just don't know. I need to remember. I need to figure it out. Ionut. I'm gonna call you Ion. I'm gonna call you T. We're just gonna call you T from now on. I gotta get the name right for you, because I feel like you keep chatting. It's like buying a challenger border, but your league account. Yes. Wow, that's a great example. That's a great example. It's like buying a challenger border on your account, you being Wood 7 division, and that's the best analogy between looking good and the end game in the MMO. 100% exactly. That end game in League of Legends is you getting that border around your title, around your name. That's like the cosmetic version of it, and they don't sell that stuff. But selling a mount in an MMO is pay to win. Do you think we'll make it hero characters released from time to time in Riot MMO they did on League of Legends, or you think it'll be limited class system? I think there's going to be a class system just because this tweet. I think I have an article on it on Riot Grove. Where's my MMO articles? Yeah, right here. 4 cardinal sins, the battle of decoding, job posting reveals. Where is that article? Playable races? No. It was an article on zone predictions, economy. I thought I had put an article on it, didn't I? Where's my channel? Videos. It's the Blood Mage. The Blood Mage made me think about it. Maybe I didn't do it. Maybe I just thought I did. I'm not seeing a video on it. Oh no, right here. Riot Grove article. Oh, I don't think I did an article on it. Let me just look it up. Display. Necrit. Blood Mage. So who's playing a Blood Mage? Yeah. So this is in response to the cinematic. Not still here. It's like Noxus cinematic. Welcome to Noxus or whatever. Yeah. So if you look right here, you can see these Blood Mages show up. Yeah, right here. So these guys show up. They're Blood Mages. They're a part of Vladimir's group, right? And so this shot here, these look like Blood Mages, right? And then Necrit tweeted out, so who's playing a Blood Mage in the Riot MMO? And Fabrice Condominis, I'm just going to say Fabrice from now on instead of butchering his last name. Executive producer at Riot Games, leading the charge of the MMO, gamer at heart, storyteller by profession. Executive producer at Riot Games, leading the charge of the Riot MMO, responded with side eyes. That's risky business. That's very risky business because people could have seen that eyes and been like, oh my gosh, Blood Mages are going to be an eye. It could have been like a hype thing, people gone off. Now, if you don't deliver on Blood Mages, it becomes like okay, a bit of a letdown because people are looking forward to it. So if there's Blood Mages, that means it's a class-based system. And this tweet alone makes me think that we're going to have classes and not like characters or anything like that. Or like, your gear defines you kind of thing. Although I really, honestly, I'd prefer a class system. Do you think we might get hero characters released from time to time in Riot MMO? They did on League of Legends? Or do you think it's limited classes? Yeah, I think it's going to be a limited class. I think it's going to be classes. It's pronounced Yonuts, but T is great. Okay, T. That was way off. I was way off, but T. Best viewers on... oh, okay. You selling the viewers. There's always someone selling viewers. All right, let's get into this. Let's get into the responsibilities here because the responsibilities are always where the juice is. At least based on the other roles that I've ever looked at. Responsibilities. Work with our tech artists to architect scalable character pipelines that support highly modular, customizable characters from body types and costumes to accessories and facial rigs. Yeah, so I mean facial... Wow. Does this have to do with character creation, like our own character creation? Characters you'll shape the div formation, customization, and integration pipelines that make our characters feel alive, both in look and feel. He's saying our characters, not player characters. About rigging a hero or two, and the heroes are like the champions that we're going to interact with, like Lux, Tarek, these kind of people, Garen. It's about designing systems that can support a constantly evolving, deeply customizable character ecosystem. So even the character at the shop, right? He's going to need his own animation, look, rig, to ensure our characters look great, move well, and scale smartly across a living world full of choice and diversity. Work with our to architect scalable character pipelines that support highly modular, customizable characters from body types and costumes to accessories and facial rigs. Yeah, I think this is still talking about like the characters in the world, the people walking around. So if you're in Demacia and you're looking at people walking around the city, they're not going to customize 1,000 characters, 1,000 NPCs for Demacia. They need to build a system that allows you to build these characters quickly. From body types and costumes to accessories and facial rigs. So they're going to build like a system to be able to pump these characters out. Design and maintain deformation systems and tools including rig logic, joint hierarchies, and facial setups that integrate cleanly into Unreal Engine. Yeah. So they're building the system to make it the ability to pump out these characters quickly. And like, even for the next expansion, right, you're not going to build all new characters, all new NPCs, all new rigs. Own runtime character integration in Unreal, including skeletal meshes, animation blueprints, physics setups, and simulation-driven secondary motion. Wow, these characters are really... They're talking about like secondary motion, simulation, physics. Like these characters are going to be really in the world. In World of Warcraft, you can like run through people and you could run through a lot of NPCs. You can literally walk inside of them. That looks like that's not going to be the case in the Riot mode. These characters are going to have physics and like secondary driven motion. Like maybe you're walking in the city, you can just push someone into a wall. That's interesting. This is an interesting point right here. Physics setups and simulation driven secondary motion. That makes me think more about like these characters are really going to feel like they're heavy, like they're weighted in the world. We're talking more like at that point, what's it called? Cyberpunk than World of Warcraft, where these are like static walking characters doing their animation, their walk animation and their wave animation, and then their walk animation, and then their drink animation or whatever. Everyone's drink animations. This is levels above. Joint hierarchy, bro, I swear these responsibilities are English, but I guess I'm just too dumb to understand. No, I did. So joint hierarchies. So I've never done too much rigging other than ripping the League of Legends models and like animating them in Blender, right? So take this with a grain of salt. But I would assume that joint hierarchies is the hierarchy for the movement. So like if you're gonna move your arm, right? If your arm is here and your motion is gonna be like this, there's a joint hierarchy, like the elbow should move first. Then if you're going to grab something, it's not like the fingers move. It's not like the fingers move and then the hand moves. If you're going to grab something, the elbow has to move first. And then once it turns, then the fingers can close. And so joint hierarchies, like the elbow has a hierarchy above the fingers. And I could be completely wrong, but that's just my understanding of the word joint hierarchies and how models work, right? And like that you move the model, you're telling the model, I want to go here and grab this. Well, there's a hierarchy to it. The elbow has to move first, and then the fingers can move. It travels down. So, just my guess, but I don't know. At the end of the day, we're reading these roles, and these are people that are, like, someone reading this should definitely understand what rig logic and joint hierarchies and all this stuff with a greater depth, right, than any of us understand. But we're just looking at the roles and seeing what we can glean from it. So, we're all in your boat, Como. I think we can just do an educated guess and hope that we're somewhat close to what it actually means. Leverage character customization systems with the Unreal Engine to enable robust personalization while maintaining performance and visual fidelity. See, this character customization systems, I think that's more like for the internal team. This is going to be internal team who's going to be creating all these characters. So they're going to create a system where the people who are the concept artists, the engineers, the designers, the animators can go in and do their work all within the same system. So whoever this role is, senior technical artist for characters, is going to be like designing the system that will allow these people to create these characters quickly and efficiently in bulk, all within like the same ecosystem. Collaborate with artists and animators to develop intuitive tools and workflows. Yeah, tools and workflows that support both prototyping and production. Serve as a bridge between disciplines, ensuring visual intent is preserved across technical constraints, gameplay needs, and engine requirements. Debug and resolve character-related pipeline issues across Maya and Unreal, with a focus on sustainable systemic solutions. I mean that lost me too, because I don't even know what Maya is. Why don't we search joint hierarchies? Hierarchies in model design. Joint hierarchies are a fundamental concept in 3D modeling and rigging, organizing a model's skeletal structure and parent-child relationship, with each joint moves independent on its parent. Yeah. Oh, so joint hierarchy is like your fingers move dependent on your elbow. And so as your elbow moves, the hand should move too, I guess. Joint is essential for creating realistic animations, as it ensures that when a parental joint is moved, its child joints are connected geometry move with it in a coordinated way. Beyond character rigging, the term joint hierarchies can also refer to statistical models that combine component models to form joint distribution for uncertainty. So it's like my hand has to move when my elbow moves. And the hand is lower in the joint hierarchy than my elbow, which is also lower in the joint hierarchy to my shoulder, which is also lower in the joint hierarchy to my torso. So I was completely wrong, is what I'm saying. So I'm trying not to guess too much anymore. What the heck is Maya? Character pipeline issues across Maya and Unreal Engine. Maya character development tool. Wow, I really spelled that wrong. Character development is Autodesk. Maya is the process of creating and animating a 3D character involving stages like conceptualization, blocking out the basic shape with primitive geometry, detailing modeling and features like edge loops and symmetry, UV mapping and texturing for surface detail, rigging to create a skeleton for movement, and finally, animation. I don't understand what I just read. Maya is used. Thank you for answering. Yo, yeah, of course. The Maya is used for the 3D modeling, same as Blender. Oh, okay. Pretty much, but seems to be industry standard for the pros. Really expensive though. Okay, I'll stick to Blender. But that's like the pro version of Blender, with a focus on sustainable systemic solutions. Partner with engineering and design to support player-facing customization systems, ensuring high performance and visual consistency across all combinations. Proactively identify tech debt and pipeline inefficiencies, explore future technologies, and drive strategic solutions for us for the long road of a live service MMO development. Yeah, so this is all about building sustainability and being able to pump these characters out. There's going to be characters all over the world of Runeterra. You can imagine how many freaking NPCs there's going to be just in Demacia alone. Every shopkeeper, every farmer, every blacksmith, every freaking person wandering around, which is, by the way, they're going to have like real life day-night cycles. At least I hope, and I think they will. It's not going to be your standard NPC. And so you can imagine building all those NPCs for every city, every area, every little town, Cloudfield, Terbicia, Old Bargate. Then you expand it out to the world. They're going to need a system to be able to build out pump out these characters. And that looks like that's what this is. Required qualifications: 5+ years of experience as a technical artist or rigging TD in games or related industries. These are used in Maya-based rigging. So Maya, again, like what you were talking about, where it's kind of like Blender, but a more pro version. Python tool development for artist workflows. So building out the tools for artists. Demonstrating experience integrating characters into Unreal Engine, including working knowledge of skeletal meshes, animation blueprints, and physics assets. I'm really excited about the physics assets because it looks like physics is being tied to these characters. So they're not just going to be like these invisible NPCs that you can run through. they're going to have physics and feel weighted in the world, which I think is important to making the world feel real and alive. Strong understanding of character anatomy, facial topology, and deformation techniques for stylized and realistic characters. So that's just saying, you know, understand how a face works and how a body works. Experience building and maintaining character asset pipelines that scale to large asset libraries and systemic use. Proven ability to work cross-discipline, balance, create. I mean, that's just like your basic jargon. I don't know, white collar, blue collar, whatever jargon. Desired qualifications: experience working on MMOs, large-scale multiplayer games, especially those with robust character customization and modular systems. Familiarity with mutable or similar runtime customization frameworks in Unreal Engine. With mutable? I don't know what mutable is either. Mutable in Unreal Engine. Mutable is a toolset that generates dynamic skeletal meshes, materials and textures in editor or a runtime. Okay, so it's just for making the meshes. Experience designing systems that support diverse body types, equipment sets, and morph targets without compromising fidelity or performance. Experience with facial rigs and expressions. So these characters are not just going to be like the usual talk. You know, in a lot of MMOs, it's like blah, blah, blah. That is like their mouth moves, but it's not like them actually talking. I mean, their mouth, they're just like, kind of like, just do this, you know? You know what I'm talking about? Like, talking NPC in MMO. I don't know what's going to come up when I type this. Well, this is a different one because that's a bit farther along. As is this. I mean, this is like, I'm talking about like, what's an MMO? NPC in Final Fantasy. Shopkeeper. I don't know. I just need to like someone talking to a random NPC in Final Fantasy. Wow, this is harder to find than I expected, guys. I guess I'm not searching it. I mean, this is not what I'm talking about. Of Warcraft NPC. Underrated NPCs, creepiest NPCs. 3+ hours of NPC WoW facts. Weirdest NPC. Man, WoW Krendor does some great videos. Pointless top. I mean, they don't really talk is what I'm trying to get at, but I can't find it. You guys have to just understand what I'm saying, okay? They just have a format, an animation that they do whenever they talk, and they just do that animation over and over again whenever they're talking. And so this seems like much more than that, which is like facial rigs and expressions. Oh man, I'm so excited for that MMO. I can't even. You guys, the moment we get Riot MMO news, I'm gonna lose it. I really am. Like, imagine me now versus when the actual news comes out for the Riot MMO. Man, I'm gonna be nonstop. It's really hard to make good-looking characters with low poly meshes. Oh, you guys didn't even see what I was talking about. I was looking for like something with an NPC where they show them talking, but I couldn't find it. It's really hard to make really good-looking characters with low poly meshes, but they need low poly meshes for good performance of the game. Really tough challenge Riot has ahead of them. Man, Como, you are so humble. You are so humble on this. You know a thing or two. But yeah, that makes sense to me. That you don't want it to be too high poly count, because then it's. I always talk about that with Ashes of Creation, that the game looks amazing. But I don't think that's good for longevity of the game, the look of it. And then two, I feel like they're always running it, and sure, it looks amazing, but how would that run in an MMO? Like actually with hundreds of people running around, I feel like I don't know how good it'll be. I really don't. But yeah, that's what they're trying to do. They have to think about performance for sure. That's the most important thing, even more than the look of the model. If it dampens performance, that's horrible. The main thing that I really like are the physics. They keep talking about physics and the way that characters move and stuff. Support diverse body types, equipment sets, and morph targets without compromising fidelity or performance. Morph targets. Morph targets provide a way to deform a mesh from its base form towards a target form. Generally, they're used for skeletal meshes as part of an animation. Oh, okay. So like morph the mesh as you're animating, so the face kind of the mesh moves with the animation. Experience with facial expressions, especially those used in narrative and cinematic content. So these characters are definitely going to have, you know, a movement to them. Their face is going to move as they talk. It's not just going to be like the standard mouth moving kind of thing and the animation. They're actually going to look like they're saying what they're saying. Familiar with one-time performing, profiling, LOD generation, streaming budgets, and related optimization for character systems. Please include in portfolio rigging and deformation work of game cinematics, preferably with stylized characters, so cinematic work, tools or systems you built that demonstrate your approach to scaling pipelines or customization, examples of work that move cleanly from Maya to Unreal or a same game engine. Very cool. I actually think we got a lot from this role post. This has a lot to do with like what the characters are going to look like, and we've established that they're going to have some weight to them, they're going to have some physics to them, and they're actually going to be in the world in a lot of ways and actually like feel weighted, and they're when they're talking, it's going to be facial movement and stuff like that. So to be honest, I really like the animation and physics on the Lux idle animation on the RHS of the screen from LOR, Legends of Runeterra. What is that? Lux idle animation on the RHS? I didn't know there was an idle animation Legends of Runeterra. What is this? Idle animation, RHS, Lux, Legends of Lore? What? Oh, you're talking about League of Legends idle animation RHS Lux lore is likely referring to the idle animation of Battle Academia Lux in League of Legends. Oh. You ever seen Kahada? It's like Kahada League of Legends models. So Lux. I'm still working on the animation. I'm building out like the animation portion of my website, but it's taking a lot of work. But I'm working on it. The animation pipeline so you guys can view all the models from League of Legends. It's like Kahada something that they've done it before. Kahada Battle Academia Lux. Okay. It's this bus website. They did a great job with this. Lux. Battle Academia Lux. What was the animation? Idle animation. This one. Yeah, she's got some shoulder movement in there. Yeah. No, the shoulders move. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I like it. I'm a fan. It's a good idle animation. Idle 2. Idle 3. These are some good animations. Oh, so that's good. I like it. Are they all the same though? No, yeah, they're not. Yeah. No, it's good. I think League of Legends does a great job with the animations as well. Look how it's advertising me for Disney. They know me. They know me. I mean, as in the one you have on the right-hand side of the screen currently. Sorry, maybe not Legend. Oh, this one. This is Wild Rift. Wild Rift models are superior to I say this all the time. Wild Rift models are superior to League of Legends. Here. You can even zoom in on her. Look how cool. I mean, the Wild Rift models are so good. Look at this. What is even going on? Yeah. Wild Rift team did a great job on all their models. I mean, every single one is great. Even like Lysandra. I love looking at the Wild Rift model viewer. That's why I always pull it up for you guys on the side and try to pull up characters. Just 'cause I think it's cool to see all these characters in up close, high fidelity. And League of Legends, I feel like they don't look as, they just look like kind of, I mean, it's a game from 2009. How good are they going to look? But when you look in Wild Rift, I feel like this is the actual, these are the actual characters, you know? Look at these things. Look at Ornn. Jeez. They do such a good job. Every single character. You can pick on any single one you want. Thresh. We don't like that skin, though. They have the original Thresh skin? Or is it just the... It's closer. Dark Star Thresh. I think they only have that one. Dark Star Thresh is pretty cool. Yeah. Dang, man, come on. Freaking Wild Rift goes so hard on these. They go so hard on the animations and like the look of the models and all this. I remember someone saying that the model viewer doesn't look like that in the game. I disagree. Like that, when you're actually playing the game, they really look like that good as well. But yeah, fire. They do a fire job on all these. I mean, in the one on the right hand side, yeah. Now this is Wild Rift. Not sure where you got that from. Yeah, even the wind physics on the cape and the way the lighting interacts with the surfaces on the clothes so well, yeah. All of these models, every single model in Wild Rift is just a better model than League of Legends. And it's a mobile game. Oh, I remember Zillion looking really cool. Yep. Yeah, these guys look so cool. But I wish I had time. I don't know. I don't want to start the Runeterra regions ranked by lore because I don't think I'm gonna have time. Obviously, I've only have 5 minutes left, and this is gonna be a pretty long article. So I think we're gonna save this for tomorrow. Did not expect to have so much news. We had a lot of arcane news. We had freaking Riot MMO news. We went through the 2XKO, the Warwick lore, from Vander to Warwick, the Uncaged Wrath of Zaun. I really like that Vander or Warwick kind of reverted to his original look in 2XKO compared to his arcane look. And I think that's just like over time. Like this is post arcane. And after he finishes with Arcane, leaves that explosion, I think he goes down to the Sumps of Zaun, spends some time there, gets reacquainted with the caustic environment and chemicals and whatnot, and eventually kind of just starts more resembling his original Warwick form compared to his Arcane form. When do you think Alpha will be? I really do think that we're going to get something like next year. Like, we're going to get a cinematic, and I think Alpha is going to come out. I do think that... Where is this? Grand Economic. It's not this article. Which article was it? Battle for Survival, 4 Cardinal Sins. I know I had like a timeline thing in one of these articles. Oh, right here. So 2021 MMO was confirmed, or that's 2020 was the tweet. MMO was confirmed. And then Project Reset was in March of 2024. That was the tweet from Mark Merrill. Then we had some core tech roles announced. So this is where we're at right now between 2025 and 2026. And I think the projected path will be, we'll get alpha and some kind of announcement in 2026, 2027. So 2026, I think next year, we're going to get a cinematic with the name, and I hope it's just Runeterra. They just call it Runeterra. I don't think the name needs to be too complex. I think Runeterra is enough. Just call it Runeterra, and the world is the world. Don't call it World of Runeterra. Although I think if you go to World of Runeterra, it takes you to the Riot recruitment page. worldofruneterra.com. Yeah. So if you type in worldofruneterra.com, literally type it into your browser. Type that into your browser and it will take you to the We're Making an MMO page, which I thought is really interesting. But I don't think it's going to be called World of Runeterra. I think it's just going to be called Runeterra. At least I think that's the right name for it. But we'll get some kind of announcement, some kind of cinematic next year, as well as alpha will start. And I actually, as much as I want to play the Riot MMO, I hope that alpha and beta are extremely internal and extremely limited. I think one of the biggest problems with today is that everything is just news output, YouTube, articles, whatnot. Like even me, I'm posting articles on Riot Grove, right? This is my website. But I actually hope that it's kept very internal, very close to the chest. So when the game actually launches, everyone gets to experience it for the first time. However, if I did get invited to alpha or beta, I would freaking... this website is not owned by Riot, according to Ohei Spun, so it's probably someone got the URL and made it redirect to Riot. Oh, no way. Or that URL, maybe. I can tell you who owns a URL checker. Who is domain search? World of Runeterra. World of Runeterra. Registry domain. Squarespace Domains LLC. Yeah, I don't know. It was registered on 2019. So whoever purchased it before the Riot MMO was even announced. Like, why would you do that? I don't know. Who is lookup? Worldofruneterra.com. Well, how does Riot Games look? Riotgames.com. Riotgames.com. Markmonitor.com. Register URL. So it looks like they purchased Riot Games from Mark Monitor. I don't know. I can't tell. What it expires in 2026 name reveal? Oh no, I mean that's just because it renews every year. My website's like that too. That's because it expires every year. You need to renew your license on a URL. Like even my URL for Riot Grove, it will show that it expires next year, but that's because you have to renew it every year. Oh shoot, I gotta go. I got work, unfortunately. I want to read these last comments before I go to work. What is your opinion on map system? In my opinion, WoW has the best map. Your specific zones, you can zoom out and see the rest. When I played New World or Ashes of Creation, map feeling was so bad for me. World of Warcraft does a great job on a lot of things. And one of the things that World of Warcraft does well is the map system. The maps are great. One thing that I will say is that World of Warcraft became very islandy. Like just too much of like islands, and I can get into that and how I want Camivore and the independent lands to be handled, but it just became too many like little plots of land all over the place. It didn't make sense. It's just too islandy at this point, but the overall feel of the map is amazing, and I hope that Riot does something similar with Runeterra. I see. Yeah, okay, guys, awesome freaking stream as always. This is the best part of my day. I wish I could keep going. I think I can go for like another 2 hours. I would love to go through the article with you guys ranking the zones based on their lore, but we're going to have to save that for tomorrow because unfortunately I have to go to work. But much love to everyone. T, Barrow, thank you so much, Verino, for becoming a member. That means so much to me. Hemo, Barrow, Como, freaking everyone in the chat. T, Kanka. I'm sure I'm forgetting someone. I have no idea. Smosis. I appreciate all of you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace. it.